Her life was a fortress, built brick by brick with lists and routines. Chloe, a young woman living in the heart of the city, had mastered the art of solitude. Her apartment was minimalist, her schedule was non-negotiable, and her heart was safely under lock and key. Her daily to-do list even included a reminder: avoid human drama. She believed that if she could control every variable, she could avoid every vulnerability. But life, as it often does, had other plans, delivered right to her doorstep. It started with a knock, not the quick tap of a delivery driver, but a firm, patient sound. Through the peephole, she saw a large, unfamiliar man. She opened the door just a crack, the security chain holding firm. It was Leo, her neighbor from down the hall, holding a misdelivered package. He had a warm, apologetic smile and a burly, reassuring presence. He said the package, her fancy kombucha, had ended up at his door. She thanked him curtly through the crack, and he left it on the floor for her. As he walked away, she noticed his greasy thumbprint on the box. She wiped it off, but a tiny, unfamiliar feeling flickered inside her. At work, Chloe was an island of focus. Her coworker Mark was a constant tide of unwanted attention. He'd lean over her desk, his charm feeling more like a trap, and pester her to join after-work drinks. She'd shut him down with icy precision, but his persistence left a tremor in her hands. He saw her as a puzzle to be solved, a challenge to be conquered, and it made her skin crawl. Later that evening, walking home with her groceries, Chloe found her path blocked by two drunk men arguing loudly. She instinctively tensed, calculating the safest route to avoid them. Suddenly, Leo emerged from the auto shop next door, wiping grease from his hands. With a firm but good-natured voice, he told the men to take their drama inside. They grumbled, but they listened. He turned and saw Chloe, recognizing her as the kombucha girl. He introduced himself properly, and she, in turn, offered her name. He joked about the amount of kale she was carrying, and she simply replied she was efficient. He saluted her with a smile and went back to work. For the first time in a long time, Chloe felt a strange sense of ease walking down her own street. That night, a storm raged, and with the deafening crash of thunder, her power went out. The sterile perfection of her apartment was plunged into a terrifying darkness. Her phone was almost dead, and for the first time, a fear her lists couldn't fix washed over her. Then, a heavy knock. It was Leo again, holding a massive flashlight and 2 mugs of tea. He'd come to check on her. He stepped inside, his presence filling the empty space. He looked around her immaculate apartment and called it a very clean museum. As he handed her a mug of tea, their fingers brushed. His were rough and warm. He asked if she had family in the city. She said no, that she preferred it that way. He nodded, saying he understood, until you don't. He told her about his little sister back home, how he'd always look out for her, fix her bike, and scare off bad boyfriends. It wasn't a boast, just a simple fact of his life. Chloe admitted she'd never had that. She was the one who scared people off. Leo looked at her thoughtfully and said, "Maybe you just never had anyone worth letting in." Just then, the power hummed back to life, and the moment was broken. He left, and her apartment suddenly felt quieter and emptier than ever before. A week later, at a mandatory work event on a rooftop bar, Chloe found herself cornered by Mark. He'd been drinking, and his superficial charm had melted away, revealing an aggressive edge. He grabbed her wrist, his grip tight. "I'm done playing," he sneered. Chloe froze, all her carefully constructed defenses crumbling. And then, like a guardian angel in a flannel shirt, Leo was there. He had appeared out of nowhere. In 3 long strides, he was between them. He didn't shove Mark. He simply placed a large, immovable hand on his chest. "The lady said let go," he said, his voice calm but absolute. Mark blustered, asking who he was. Leo looked from Chloe's terrified face back to Mark's. "I'm her big brother," he said, "and you're leaving." Now, the quiet certainty in his voice was terrifying. Mark paled and scurried away. Chloe was shaking, tears of fury and shame welling in her eyes. She hated that she had frozen, that she hadn't been able to defend herself. Leo gently asked if she was okay. "Speeches are overrated," he said softly. Sometimes you just need a bigger presence. He offered to walk her home. As they walked in silence, Chloe finally had to ask, "Why do you keep doing this? I'm not a project." Leo stopped and looked at her. He told her he knew she could handle herself, but that she shouldn't always have to. "You're not a project," he said. "You're a person who has her life together better than anyone I know. But everyone needs a big brother sometimes. Someone to have your back. No questions asked. No favors owed. Just because." He explained that he saw the high, strong wall she'd built around herself and figured she might like someone to stand on it with her for a while, to offer a better view. For the first time, Chloe looked at him and saw no pity, no agenda, just a genuine, open-hearted offer of connection. A real smile finally broke through her armor. "My view's pretty good," she said, "but the company could be better." This time, when they got to her apartment, she invited him in. There was no crisis, no power outage. She went to her kitchen and offered him wine. As they clinked glasses, she jokingly asked about the terms and conditions of this big brother thing. Did it come with chores? He played along, saying she'd have to help him move and pretend to like his terrible cooking. She agreed, asking if she could borrow his tools. "All of them?" He laughed. "And you get unsolicited advice about your car." "I take the subway," she replied. "See," he said with a grin. "You need me already." They both laughed, an easy, comfortable sound that filled the one silent apartment. As they talked, Chloe's entire posture changed. She was relaxed, open, and for the first time, in her perfectly ordered fortress, she was not alone. She had found something she never knew she was missing, a brother. And with him, she was finally home. Thanks for watching.